All right, let's get into it. We are about to take a deep dive into what is honestly the most fascinating part of you, your memory. We're going to explore how your brain actually builds this incredible library of experiences that, makes you, you. So, let's get started.
You know the feeling, right? It's almost a cliche at this point. You can belt out every single word to a song you haven't heard since you were a kid, but you walk into the kitchen and poof! No idea why you're there. This isn't just some random quirk. It's actually a huge clue about the incredibly complex and frankly picky system running inside your head. So what is really going on in there? Let's find out.
Okay, so first things first, let's get the basic layout. Your brain doesn't just have one giant bin labeled memories. Nope, it's way more sophisticated. Think of it more like a high-tech filing cabinet with 3 main drawers, and each one is designed for a totally different kind of information.
So, that first drawer is for your short-term memory. I love this analogy of it being like a VIP club. Or you could just think of it as a mental sticky note. It's designed to hold a few bits of info, like a phone number someone just told you, for just a handful of seconds, maybe a minute. It's absolutely crucial for what you're doing right now, but the catch is, its space is super limited.
And when you compare that to long-term memory, wow, the difference is just staggering. Your short-term memory is struggling to hold 7 digits, while your long-term memory is this massive, sprawling warehouse that can store stuff for years, even your entire lifetime. The only trade-off? Well, trying to find one specific memory in that giant warehouse, that isn't always so easy.
But here's where it gets really cool. You can actually upgrade your short-term memory on the fly. There are these little tricks or hacks, like chunking. That's where you group items together. So a long phone number becomes 3 smaller, way more manageable bits. Or rehearsal, which is exactly what it sounds like. You just repeat it to yourself over and over. These little tricks literally expand the capacity of that mental sticky note.
Okay, so we've got our filing cabinet, but how does an experience, the taste of your coffee this morning, the words on the screen, how does that stuff actually get filed away? Well, it happens on what you can imagine as a kind of mental assembly line.
Every single memory you have, and I mean every single one, goes through this exact 4-step process. It all starts with gathering info through your senses. Then your brain has to encode it, basically translate all that sight, sound, and feeling into a language you can actually store. Step 3 is storage, where your brain files it away neatly. And finally, retrieval. That's you reaching onto the shelf and pulling that memory out when you need it. It's this constant, incredible dance happening every moment you're awake.
Now, all this talk of assembly lines and filing cabinets, it can sound a little abstract, right? But here's the thing. These processes are happening in very real physical places inside your brain. So let's pull out the map and see if we can pinpoint where all the magic is happening.
Right at the heart of your memory map is the hippocampus. You actually have 2 of them, one on each side of your brain, kind of behind your temples. And they are the undisputed MVPs of memory creation. This is where new experiences get processed and consolidated. It's basically the manager that decides, hey, is this memory important enough to keep before shipping it off to long-term storage?
But, and this is a big but, the hippocampus does not work alone, not even close. Memory is a total team sport in the brain. You've got the prefrontal cortex acting as that short-term sticky note we talked about. The basal ganglia and cerebellum, they're crucial for remembering how to do things, like ride a bike. And then there's the amygdala, which links your memories to emotions. That's why you can remember moments of intense joy or fear so vividly. Each part has a job to do in this amazing network.
We've spent all this time talking about remembering, but what about the flip side? Forgetting. It always feels like a failure, right? Like a bug in our mental software. But what if I told you that from your brain's point of view, forgetting is actually a feature? Just try to imagine for a second, if you remembered every single little thing that ever happened to you, every breakfast, every car you passed on the highway, it would be completely overwhelming. So your brain doesn't just passively let memories fade, it actively prunes them. It's a strategic decluttering process, clearing out the junk so you can find the memories that actually matter. Forgetting is essential for remembering.
Of course, this system is definitely not foolproof. I mean, we've all felt how a bad night's sleep or a super stressful day can make our memory feel foggy. That's because things like stress and sleep deprivation directly mess with your brain's ability to encode and retrieve information. And then there are more serious roadblocks, like brain injuries, that can cause really significant, lasting damage to these pathways.
So, we've looked at the mechanics, the biology, the whole process, but so what? What does it all really mean? Let's zoom out for a second and look at the most profound part of all this, the connection between memory and, well, us.
This quote really just gets to the heart of it all. Your memories aren't just little data files stored away in your head. They are the actual building blocks of your personality, your sense of self, your beliefs. Every experience you've had, every lesson you've learned, it's all woven together to create the unique fabric of who you are.
And that brings us to one last really deep question to think about. If our memories truly do make us who we are, what does it mean when two people remember the exact same event in completely different ways? It kind of suggests that our reality isn't just what happens to us, but the very specific, very personal story our brain decides to tell about it. Something to chew on. Thanks for exploring this with me.